welcome.
Thank you. I kind of wanted to see you do a little your non-robot dance.
I know.
What would that be like?
I know. It's kind of like it's kind of like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that.
Kind of like that.
Kind of like. A,
Oh, it is almost like a robot, but
Right,
kind of not a robot. I always love seeing you. Thank you for doing that bit with us.
yeah, man.
I appreciate that. I want to get into the documentary.
Yeah.
I loved it so much. You know, I was texting you and I told you I loved it. It's
Yeah.
just beautiful. And I want to talk about your soda.
Yes.
It's a lot of things to talk about.
There's a lot of things to cover.
First, I want to say, last time I saw you, we were, if you remember this, we were at a Knicks game.
Yes.
And we were across from each
Recently.
other. Like
Recently, yeah.
last week, yeah.
Yes. We both had courtside seats.
Amazing
Which
seats.
is great. I was there with Christine, and I was like in the area that they usually put us. You were across, right next to the Knicks bench. These are like the prime seats where you're literally next to the Knicks assistant coaches.
I did not like these seats at all.
Because it puts a lot of pressure on you.
Too
right?
nice. They were too, yeah, it felt like
Like you're part of the.
I was stressed.
And you're like a basketball maniac, right? You love basketball, right? You live and breathe basketball.
Yeah. I live in.
So it
I'm
must be,
so nervous.
Yeah.
No, I didn't belong there at all.
No, but you're there as if, and you were dressed in this sort of like dark sweats, kind of like, you looked like the assistant coaches there. You basically looked like you were like the new assistant coach.
You
Mike
kept
Brown
sending
had
you
hired.
kept sending me text messages. You were taking pictures of
Yeah,
me.
you're like a
and
guy that came from the G League or
and
something.
laughing at me, and you were
Yes.
sending me pictures. Here's me.
Yeah, so I
sitting
started
next to the
sending
team.
pictures. So there's Mike Brown, the new head coach,
Yeah, that's
and
right.
there's an assistant, and
Yeah.
there you are.
that's me.
Yeah.
And
And
I
I swear to God, they would like the players would come off and they'd high five all the assistants, and you put your hand out, they'd high five you. I think they thought you were an assistant coach.
I did not like it. It was so stressful.
You have the other picture though, because then there was another shot I had where it really looked like you were giving secrets to the other team. You were telling the Mike Brown plays to the other team on a secret thing.
No,
Yeah.
I was coughing.
All right.
I was coughing.
I feel like that's like a Pulitzer-winning photograph.
That
I
is
got
the
there,
photo.
yeah.
You kept sending me these. I was laughing because I was even afraid to check my phone. It's the most stressful thing. I appreciate the tickets are so nice.
Yeah.
Too nice. Too
Yeah.
nice for me.
No,
They were going. The coach is yelling plays.
Yeah.
And getting in my standing in front of me is going vortex, vortex, vortex.
Right.
Chandelier, chandelier.
Right.
Vortex. And I go, what is he? This
Right.
is. I couldn't have a beer. I didn't want to
Yeah.
eat a hot dog. I didn't want to. What if I spilled a hot dog on the coach?
But for people who love basketball, that would be like the prime seat. I'm not saying you don't love basketball. 'Cause I know you do.
I'm a basketball maniac.
But I've gone for years and years, my whole life. I've never had that seat. I've never ever been that close. I would freak out being that close.
Oh my! In a great way.
Yeah. Oh my God. It'd be
I didn't,
amazing.
because I know
It's like my
half the
dream.
players, and I don't want to make eye contact with them,
Right.
because I want them to stay in the zone.
Did you say anything to the players during the
I
game?
ignored all of them.
No, you ignored them.
I ignored them. I think I put my hand out a couple times. I didn't
Right.
want to
Yeah.
do
You did
anything.
because they thought you were the coach. Yeah. They thought you were the assistant.
It really did. We have a lot to get into. First off, this is the 25th anniversary of Meet the Parents.
This year?
Yes.
Yeah.
Classic.
Yeah.
And you just finished shooting a brand new,
did, yeah.
called Fokker and Law.
Yes, we did with Ariana Grande joined the cast.
Come on.
Incredible. Yeah.
How great is she? She's unbelievable.
I mean, it's crazy how talented. She's so sweet. I didn't know her before. I had met her before because she did a cameo in Zoolander 2 10 years ago. She was in an orgy scene we had. But it's been a while since, I haven't seen her since the orgy. So, but to see her, she's so great with comedy. She's amazing in Wicked, and she's such a good singer, obviously, too. Like she'll just like be on set and she's sort of like humming to herself, and she'll be going, and just like incredible, like operatic, kind of
goes, "That's just
soliloquy.
you humming?"
And that's
Yeah.
just her humming. It doesn't sound like I just did it.
Yeah.
That sounds like I was possessed or something.
Yeah.
But no, and she's so good with comedy. She's so, she's just like a total natural. I feel like she could do anything.
She's got the whole package.
Yeah.
I wanted to congratulate you, too, on Severance. Oh, my gosh, what a great season.
Man.
Season 2 was unbelievable.
Thank you.
I love
Thank
season
you.
1, but season 2, unbelievable. It won multiple Emmys. Congrats on all of that stuff. And now, of course, fans just want season 3.
Yes, they do. And it's coming.
Okay. once you put it out, then we want more.
Yes, and no, it's a series, and it's coming. There'll be another season. It's not gonna, it'll be soon-ish.
Yes.
Yeah.
It takes time.
Yes.
It takes time to make something that good.
I guess so. I mean, we have our own process. I'm not. It's tough because people do love the show. People love the show, and then they're always like, "When is the next season? When's the next season?"
Yes.
And it's always, we're working on it. But we've only done 19 episodes over 5.5 years on the show.
So it takes a little time.
Yeah, I think like Young Sheldon's done 600 episodes in that time.
But they're fantastic.
Yes, they are.
And they're coming out. And speaking of great ideas and keeping it going, let's talk about Stillers.
Okay. This is a real thing. This is we launched this soda like a month ago.
Yeah.
And
congratulations.
yeah, thanks.
I love this.
It's crazy. I've never done anything like this before. I'm not like really entrepreneurial or anything.
Yeah.
But the idea of doing a soda, because there's these celebrity brands and stuff, people, and a lot of like liquors and things like that.
Tequilas and
lifestyle. Yeah. And I don't drink, but I do love soda. I love Shirley Temples. I grew up, drinking Shirley Temples
That's
as a
like the
kid.
first cocktail as a kid.
Yeah. So that was the first. Yeah, it is. It makes you feel like a grown-up. Yeah.
It does.
So that was the first idea. Was like, oh, can we do like a Shirley Temple company? But there's not, the market cap for Shirley. It's not like there's not really
small. Yeah, you got to go a little bit broader.
But the idea of like sodas that I loved as a kid, that sort of nostalgic, like cream soda. We don't have cream soda yet. That's coming, but root beers and lemon lime and
was the first thing I asked you, and you're like, dude, you're coming out with this. I go, oh my gosh. First of all, I love the logo.
Yeah.
And I go,
a little retro-y.
But so this is available in certain stores, Amazon.
It's on Amazon now, and then it's in like the tri-state area, and then we're going to be in Whole Foods. We're going to be in Walmart.
What are you talking about?
Very,
Ben
very
Stiller,
excited.
come on,
very
bud.
excited. Thank you. Yeah.
And it's delicious.
I really did a lot of research. When we started working on the Shirley Temple, I actually went to Italy for 6 weeks and embedded myself in the hills of Italy with the maraschino cherry farmers.
You did not.
I did. I did. I
You're
went
really one of those
undercover.
method
Yes.
cherry, maraschino
Yes.
cherry farmers.
I called myself Giuseppe.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That's,
They called me Piccolo Giuseppe.
oh my God.
Little Giuseppe.
Little Giuseppe.
Yeah.
Oh my
And we
God.
found the right maraschino cherry, and then
Wow.
and then I found out you can't put a maraschino cherry in a can.
All right. Well, you
because
learn.
it's disgusting and gross.
You
Yeah.
learn the hard way. Yeah. But you put the research in. By the way, it is delicious, and it's also 30 calories.
Yeah, it's all natural. The idea is like a soda that's like you're not going to feel bad drinking. It's good for you, and as good as soda can be for you, and also it's tastes good, and it's not like got a lot of chemicals and stuff in it.
Dude, congrats on this. I love it. I love a new idea.
Yeah.
This is
Thanks.
so cool.
Thank you.
I want to talk about the documentary about your parents, Stiller and Mira. Nothing is lost.
Yeah.
Obviously, yeah. You can clap for Stiller and Mira. Jerry Stiller and Mira, legends in the comedy business. I love them. I got to meet them. We got to do a bit on the
came
show.
on the show,
I'll
yeah,
never
all
forget it.
together.
And we watched this documentary. I was freaked out. I loved it so much because not only do you get to see their whole career, and how much work goes into making a career, especially being a husband and wife. But if I can explain this the right way, to have this documentary come out is so rare because you have to have a famous mom and dad that are in comedy. You have to be a child of that mom and dad. You have to want to be in comedy. You have to start a career in comedy, do well. You have to learn how to direct, become a director. Then you have to become a dad. Then you have to make the same mistakes your parents made. Then you have to make this documentary.
Right.
It's a very rare thing that you did.
And then you have to start a soda company.
That's in the sequel.
No, it's honestly, I love documentaries. I think they're the most emotional, the movies that hit
too.
you the hardest because they're real. And this was like after my dad passed away 5 years ago. It was during COVID. And we couldn't do a memorial for him at that time. And there was all this footage, this videotape and Super 8 footage and audio recordings that I discovered that my dad had saved all this stuff.
He recorded so many things.
And my sister and I were going through the apartment because they left the apartment to my sister, and we knew she was going to sell it, and we had to clean it out. And I think a lot of people have gone through that experience. And I discovered there was just all of these, these recordings that I didn't know existed of my dad and my mom having these conversations when they would write together. They'd write their sketches for the Ed Sullivan Show. They were on like 36 times, and they would
36 times.
yeah, so they would improvise together and record it. And so there was just all of this material and all these appearances on talk shows in the 70s and 80s. And I just wanted to try to put something together. And then it evolved into really a story about our whole family. Because, you know, since I was the one making the movie, that the perspective of being a child of parents who are actors, and then also having grown kids now who are also actors, and being in a relationship, being in a marriage for 25 years.
Your wife is fantastic. Your kids are amazing. Talking to you straight up and being honest and going,
Yes.
Dad, we lived through it as well.
Yes, yeah. I asked them questions about what it was like, and I got some interesting answers I wasn't expecting.
You could tell, but it's like you really just breathing, going like, okay. And they're like, Dad, last week I was at a restaurant, I was trying to talk to you, and you had to take 10 pictures with fans. And,
Right.
And you're like, okay.
And that's what I went through with my dad. And, you know, there's like the experiences of, like, you know, as a parent, what you try to do differently with your kids too, and, you know, the mistakes you try not to make and the other mistakes that you make. You know, all of that is part of the movie. And also, I think it's about creativity too, and, you know, how you can have a relationship with someone and be creative with them, and how you figure that out. My parents were married for over 60 years, and they stayed together. Yeah, and I think that really, yeah.
They were hilarious.
They wanted to be together. You know, not all marriages should stay together. Now, you know,
No.
But they really wanted to be
worked
together.
on it.
And I think that, you know, that really influenced me and in my life. And so I wanted to kind of,
And just hearing them talk and nothing is lost and saying all that on the tapes, and they have you and your sister, so cute, Amy. So you guys went on the Mike Douglas show as kids.
That's right. Yeah.
And played probably one of the worst renditions of some violin I've ever heard in my life. But it's so gosh darn cute.
Well, yeah. My parents were on the Mike Douglas show, which was a daytime talk show, and they were the co-hosts for the week, and they brought us out and we played chopsticks, and we were awful.
But it was perfectly awful.
It was perfectly awful, and
here's them after you played, just hugging you and kissing you and going, "Oh, you're great.
Yeah.
You did such a great job." Yeah.
Yes, and then therapy for the rest of our lives.
Yeah, of course. I just want to mention also, after you finished the documentary, which, by the way, the last couple scenes just absolutely killed me. But you'll have to watch to see it. It's great. But you've donated all of your parents' comedy archives to the National Comedy Center in Jamestown, New York.
Yes.
Which is an amazing place.
It's an amazing place. It's
a lot of stuff.
It's Lucille Ball's hometown, Jamestown, New York.
Yes.
Yeah, and they're archiving that stuff, and they're gonna have an exhibit, and it's just great because it's about the comedy process, how they would figure out how to, you know, write these sketches that were very autobiographical too.
They would have been so proud of you for making this, dude.
Thanks, man.
You're the best. I want to show everyone a clip from Stiller and Mira. Nothing is lost. Take a look.
We have a sketch which we call Hate.
The heat of your hot hate.
You know, I say to Ann, I hate you. And she says, you hate me, I hate you. And one day, Amy, who's 6, came into the room, and she heard us saying this to each other. And we looked at her for a moment, and we didn't know what to say. So we said, Amy, Mommy, Daddy, rehearse. Right. Mommy, Daddy, rehearse. And Amy looked at us, and she started to smile. Well, about 2 weeks later, we were fighting. And Amy walked in, and she said,
Mommy, Daddy, rehearse? No, Mommy, Daddy, fight.
Get out of here.
it gets to be a little complicated sometimes.
I hated you before I met you.
I hated you before you were born.
To me, that's like one of the things that I think about is just how that became sort of like, yeah, that's the laugh, that's the funny joke. But what is the reality of that story, though?
We don't know, Ben. That's why we're so messed up. That's
why we're doing this documentary?
That's why we're going to figure it out.
Oh, fantastic. Great doc. Congratulations. Thanks, Ben Stiller, everybody. Stiller and Mira, Nothing is Lost is streaming now on Apple TV. Brad Paisley joins us after the break. Stick around.